Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're gonna work on number of ones. So the prompt is saying, given a sorted bit array, values of either 0 or 1, determine the number of ones in the array. So the keyword here that we can get from the prompt is the array is sorted. That means 0 come before 1. That is gonna help us a lot. I will tell you in a bit. And then let's move to the parameters. So the input is the array of integers, so this is the input, and then the output, they need integer, which is the integer here represent the number of ones in the array. The constraints, time complexity or log of n. What's mean of this one? We wanna use data structures carefully in terms of we wanna kind of visit half of the array each times, so they don't like to utilize the for loop to visit every element in the array. Also, the space complexity is O of 1, mean no extra space is allowed here. So from the constraints, it's kind of telling me to utilize the binary search concept since they need it in log of n, and we all know the binary search is log of n. And the space complexity also it's applied here since for binary search not required to use any additional spaces. So to start off, again, kind of I hint you about that. We're gonna use binary search concept since it's applied here for login. It's gonna give us time complexity login and a space of O of 1. So the approaches here is the following. Initialize and declare two variables, start and end, and then we calculate the midpoint, and then we update these 3 pointers. So here the trick how we can update these 2 pointers, which is the start and end. So before I will tell you how we can update that. So what we trying to do here, so we're trying to find the first occurrence of the one in the array. So once we found the first occurrence, we can say, okay, so the total length of the array minus the first one, so we can tell how many one in the array. Again, we wanna find the first occurrence of one in the array. To do that, again, by just shifting these parameters, and moving these parameters, and we don't need to use for loop to doing that. After initializing the start and end, we can calculate the midpoint. If the value of the midpoint equal to 1, we want to update the end here. We want to move the end toward the left, and then we let the end point to the mid. So you see here. And then after updating the end, we would check if the start less than end. If yes, then we calculate the end one more time. Here 3 plus 5, 8, multiplied by 2, 4. Here we calculate the mid again, which is 4, and then the mid also is 1. The value at the mid is 1. Then we update the end. So the end will point to the 4 again. Okay, so the last step of the iterations where the mid will point at the same element where the start point, and then and also the value at the mid is 1. So again, where the value of the mid at 1, we will update the end, and end will point to where the mid is pointing. So the start and mid and end will point all of them at the same element. And here, this is the step, the start equal to end, which means the start is less than end. So the iteration will be evaluated to false since the start is equal to end. and then we exit the iterations, and here the while loop, and we return the length of the array and the length the length of 1, and the length of 1 will be calculated by the length of the array minus the start. Okay, so let's dive into coding and see how it's look like in Java. So again, we have the start index and the end index. The start will declared and initialized to 0, and end will point to the last element in the array, similar to here. So the start will point to the first element and end to the last element, and the mid, which is the start plus end, the start plus end over 2. So let's see, we need the mid here, and then we need the mid. So for each iteration, after checking if the start less than end, we calculate the mid, because the mid is changing. So the mid equal to S plus E over 2, start plus point. Okay, so we just need to do start and end, and then I just want to make it easier, and here the midpoint. All right, so after doing that, if the array of mid, so if the element at the mid equal 0, then we're gonna say start equal mid plus 1, which is basically we wanna move to the right, else if the value at the mid index is 1, then we want to update the end, which is mostly used here. We want to the end point to the mid. So the start equals 0, E equal to the array of length, S less than E. We need to calculate the midpoint, and this is here if the array, if the element at the mid equals 0, S equal 1. Okay, here, and I'm using E only. Right, then array of length. So after we exit the while loop, the iteration here, we want to return the array.length minus S. And here, for example, here the array of length, it's 11 minus S, which is S pointing to the 3, which is 3, actually 3, which is 8. So the same thing here, 1 2 3. So this is all the elements. So let's run it and see how it's look like. 8. So we get back 8. This is the total number of ones in the array. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. By the way, this array is similar to this array. All right, with that being said, thank you so much.